If you're a reader, I can guarantee someone's come up to you and gone, how do you read so much? And it's like, take a look at your screen time. If your screen time was converted into the amount of time you spent reading books, imagine how many books you could read in a year, which is exactly what I'm doing in this video. I read a lot in January. I read 15 books, which is pretty normal for me. But I did also notice I spent every waking hour on my phone. I don't know what it is. I was either on my phone or reading, to the point where I was going to bed with headaches from looking at my phone so much. This week, I'm going to be swapping my screen time for the amount of time I read. 5 hours and 1 minute on average last week. Yeah, I spent a grand total of 18 hours and 5 minutes on TikTok. What the hell was I doing? This is not the worst it's ever been, but it's something I want to change. So today is Monday. It is currently 9 a.m. and I'm going to attempt to read for the amount of time that I was on my phone last Monday. On Monday, the 27th of January, I had a screen time of 4 hours and 25 minutes, which is probably one of the best days for me, honestly. The book that we will be reading for today and probably the rest of the week is Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson, which is the 5th book in the Stormlight Archive. And I've made decent headway. I'd say I'm about 40% in. I want to ideally finish today at, shall we say, like the 60% mark. Let's get to reading. Honestly, this video has been a very, very long time coming. I've got my book ready. I've got my Milo ready. I'm in bed. I have the whole day ahead of me, so let's get to it. 4 hours and 25 minutes. Okay, we are over halfway through. And I have made some really good progress. Remember when I said I wanted to get 3/4 or like 2/3 through the book? I'm currently at page 921. I've been trying to make a concentrated effort not to go on my phone, which is actually really hard. So let's keep going. There's still 2 hours to go. I also have to go to the gym, so I'm gonna pack in as much as I can right now. We're done! 4 hours and 25 minutes of reading completed on this Monday, and as you saw, I just read a plot twist, so naturally I will be finishing this chapter, don't worry. But look at that progress! This actually worked so well. I haven't been this productive since high school. I'll see you on Tuesday and let's continue this, because I think I had the most phone-free day of the entire year so far. It is Tuesday, you already know the drill. Last Tuesday's screen time was 3 hours and 43 minutes, which is better than yesterday. So I think this will be really manageable. As of where we left off last night, we only have that much left, which is crazy. That's under 200 pages remaining. So I think I'll be finished the book within the next hour. 3 hours and 43 minutes. Let's get started. Hour and a half in and I just finished. Guys, I feel hollow. I feel empty inside in my soul. Oh my god. I will post a review for this on Goodreads if you want to go check that out. But overall, I think it sets up the future of this series as well as the rest of the Cosmere books up really well. I will say though that a lot of the book felt bloated. Like there are certain perspectives in here that I just feel would have been better off being reserved to Rhythm of War, the book before this one. And also I do feel that the ending was lacking satisfaction. I understand it's the middle of a series, but this is the end of the first arc. I should feel a little more satisfaction by the end of this, but I don't know what to do now. I still have to read for 2.5 hours and I'm in pain. I'm gonna go eat some food. I've eaten and I'm feeling a tiny bit better, so 2 hours and 18 minutes left. I'm actually gonna pick The Auction, which is a Dramini fanfiction. If you didn't know, that is getting turned into an original story in July. It's called Rose in Chains and it's one of my most anticipated reads. Oh, I just read the trigger warnings. Guys, this might screw me up even harder. But you know what? What I need is a little bit of fantasy romance right now just to recuperate. So let's start the clock. That was actually quite easy. We're 12% of the way through The Auction right now. And let me just say this was the perfect choice for me to read after Wind and Truth. Even though there are dark elements in this story, what's happening with Hermione right now, like, I don't know, the feeling is different. And that concludes Tuesday. It's only 3 p.m. I feel like I'm gonna keep reading, but I'll see you tomorrow. And tomorrow we do have a challenge ahead of us. It's Wednesday and I'm not excited. 6 hours and 4 minutes. What was I doing last week? Why was I on my phone for 6 hours and 4 minutes? Anyway, that's biting me in the ass today because I'm about to read for 6 hours and 4 minutes. I am 31% of the way. Can I just say the auction is phenomenal. I'm not even a Dramini girly like that. I don't ship them in the movies. I don't ship them in the books. This fan fiction, it is actually so good. I don't typically like dark romances at all, really, but this is more so that the themes are dark, and yes, there is like some trigger warnings in there that you need to look out for if you want to read the auction, but I'm sorry, it's so good. I'm even more excited for Rose and Chains right now. I'm also part of a little group chat where we discuss Dramini fanfiction, and me and another girl are reading it right now, and I have so many things I want to say. I can see exactly why Julie Soto got that publishing deal. 6 hours and 4 minutes on the clock. Let's get started. I have 1.5 hours left. I am obsessed. Like I've been reading so much that I just don't notice that the time's passing, but we're making really decent headway. But we're almost there, so I'm going to try and cram in as much as I can in the next 90 minutes. I guess that's all for Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow. We will be finishing this tomorrow and then I have to pick up something else to read. I'm thinking once I'm done, I'm not done yet, but once I am done, there are a couple of books that should have released yesterday. Deep End by Ali Hazelwood and The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. And if you watched the previous video, which was like books I'm anticipating for February, those two were pretty high up on there. So I will be picking up one of those two right after this one. But see you tomorrow. I'm surprised that wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. Happy Thursday. I'm on my way to the gym, but I thought before I go to the gym, why don't we stop by the bookstore and pick up Deep End, because I do have a feeling I'm gonna finish the auction today, so I may as well go grab my next read. We have Deep End. I am actually pretty excited for this. This is a sports romance. We're really hitting every single genre in this video because first we had high fantasy, then we had a fanfic romantasy, and we're about to go into sports romance, so I will be saving this for probably the end of today. There are 4 hours and 42 minutes on the clock today. As of last night, I'm 76% through the auction. However, today I have 5 hours at work and then I'm going out for dinner, so we have a very, very narrow window to read in. I think we can squeeze it in. May as well get started immediately. I have nothing to do right now. Needless to say, I'm done with work, and so now it's time for Deep End. I'll tell you how I felt about the auction tomorrow when I don't have to film on my phone, but for now, let's get to reading. Good morning everyone, it is Friday and we are looking at a screen time of 4 hours and 50 minutes as of last week. As you probably saw yesterday, I finished the auction. I couldn't really talk because I was in public, but I know you're not meant to rate fan fiction, so I won't, but I will say it was really good. It was really good. The ending was a little unsatisfying, but honestly I don't really care because I enjoyed myself immensely, and that was long. That was like 300,000 words and I still enjoyed it. I read it so quickly, and that's exactly what I needed to read after Wind and Truth. And you would have noticed that I started Deep End, which, let me go grab it. Halfway through, as of last night, I literally fell asleep reading it. It's a lot of fun. Much like Ali Hazelwood's other books, it's just fun. 4 hours and 50 minutes on the clock. We are definitely finishing this today, and I might even start another book. I think I told you this before, but it's about Scarlett, who is a diver at Stanford, and she got really badly injured last season and it's kind of put a mental block in her ability to perform a certain dive, and she meets Lucas, who is an Olympian, but he's also the swim captain for Stanford. He's calm, he's stoic, he's like the golden boy. Both of them decide to enter into a little bit of an arrangement together because they find out they are compatible. And you know what? I am enjoying it. Like I said, Ali Hazelwood has really started to impress me over the last like year or so, so this is fun. This is fun. And there is a bit of STEM in there because of course there is. It's Ali Hazelwood. But let's get going. It's 11 a.m. right now. I'll see you later in the day. Oh, I can't. That's my... Your needs to be punched. Okay, I finished. I would say almost 4 stars. Almost. Maybe like 3.75. I enjoyed it a lot. It was just fun. Brainless fun. And that's exactly what I'm looking for when I pick up an Ali Hazelwood book. I will say there was a bit of a climax here that could have been dragged out a little bit more. But the problem kind of resolved itself a little too quickly and a little too conveniently. I think she could have dragged that out. Enjoyable. I like it. I'm glad I read it. But that does mean I need another book because we still have around like 2 hours left. So with that in mind, The Rose Bargain by Sasha Peyton Smith. Now this was kind of pitched to me as The Cruel Prince meets The Selection, set in a Regency inspired but Fae ruled England. That sounds ridiculously good, and it's very, very short as well, thank God. So the plot is, in a Regency-inspired England, it is ruled by a Fae Queen and all of the young women get a boon from the Queen. But this year, the Fae Queen announces that there will be a competition for her son, the Prince's Hand. Finished, and I'm 31% of the way through. Low-key, The Rose Bargain is kind of like a 3 stars right now. It's interesting, but it's not as interesting as I'd hoped. I will keep reading though. I'll probably finish it this weekend. I also want to make it known I will not be continuing this challenge on Saturday and Sunday because my screen times were so high that I'm not sure I can physically read for that long. Surprisingly, that was actually a pretty enjoyable and enlightening week. We finished 2 books, got through a third of another book, and read a full massive fic, which is probably around the size of that. I was so productive. My screen time is 3.5 hours average for this entire week, which, you know what? That's not too shabby. It is down 21% from last week. Even though the challenge is over, I am about to go keep reading. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you next week.